the jobs I've never heard in my life. I'm thinking, Auntie.
There are new jobs.
But because of your help, you have to upset with you. That's to impress your mom. See, but I'm really, really happy with the day they are thinking. So just so you know like what you said. Alaja Nima Akashat, how are you?
I'm fine. So on Sunday, I said I went to speak at the Muslim Association of Visually Impaired of Nigeria. I've always partnered with them. I love to spend time with them. So I attend every year, any of their events, for any of the days I could. So last weekend, they decided I must speak at the event. I lectured on womanhood and mental health. And amazing.
Please, I didn't see the clips. Who went with you?
Imran.
So, I mean, come on, Nima.
Yeah, because Halima decided to disappear on me.
That kind of event, you know that going alone.
I usually go to
capture
events.
that.
I usually don't capture. So I just looked at it when she didn't come. I just left and went. So, but they would send videos.
Please, we need to post it.
But what stood out for me is every year I see those people, as blind visually as they are, the inner mind looks amazing. My bag I bought from them last year. I got a vase, flower vase, and continuously they keep, doing creating new things that. I'll now see somebody come and block my car at the office that I've not eaten since morning. I'm wondering. People, nobody asks. They don't even ask you. Once you come, they honor you. And I think more people should do more with them. They're amazing.
Yeah, that's
they make
fantastic.
Perfumes, they make candles, they make, they make so many things.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm happy you've been quite consistent. I remember last year you went to the bag you got. I remember that. Hello, Dr. Obiajilu Ugbo. How are you? Did your hair is trending? No?
Yes,
I saw Catherine use it. Catherine looks so amazing. I was like, this is Obiajilu's hair.
The hair for the season.
No. Everybody
Easy way.
Lovely. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. So I'm going on a movie set from tomorrow. Yes, I got another movie gig.
Congratulations.
And this is the sub lead. I have a lot of work to do. So for a couple of days I'll be shooting, and I'm really excited. And we're also still selling the hairs, the skincare, the outfits, and the books. People are asking to order the book. So there are two ways you can either get the book. Either I send it to you physically, or you go on Seller and you buy on Seller. Yeah.
What about Amazon? Working on it?
We're working on that. But anywhere you're in the world, you can access Seller for now.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Oh, hello guys. Come closer. Now this is not a magic trick, but I'm about to show you the best breakfast show on television. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Wake Up Nigeria.
On Wake Up Nigeria, we take your mornings from drab to fab. A quick look at the newspaper headlines to keep you updated on news and current affairs. There's sports, great features and places to go, and things to do. It's lights, cameras, and movie madness because we squeeze the best blockbusters into bite-sized reviews. Our award-winning and sometimes Guinness World-breaking chefs perform a culinary masterpiece every single morning inside of the kitchen that leaves us salivating and asking for more. Our book reviews is always a page-turner, with thrilling stories, gripping memoirs, and fascinating tales. We keep you entertained with music performances, trending topics, and fun Friday games.
And on traffic today from Shasha bus stop.
So you guys plan to set me up?
Nah.
Claire's. Custom officer wife, 4 children burnt to death at home. Oh my God. EFCC seizes 553 duplexes in single largest recovery. $22 billion Eurobond, 300% oversubscription. A pass mark for Tinubu's reform. Okwebolo inaugurates 3 judges that Obaseki declined to swear in. Minimum wage strike shuts down government offices in Kaduna, Nasarawa, and FCT areas. Conduct of council polls disgraceful, says Speaker Abbas. Okay, which story?
That's how the tax reforms.
Go ahead.
Major headline.
That's the trending matter now.
Yes, and the town hall yesterday was it's like we went to class.
Okay.
Slept after 9. There was a town hall yesterday.
Yes.
And it was really enlightening. Broke it down stage by stage. And I like that the audience that engaged were from different areas in the country, representing different views. So the former Speaker of the House of Reps was seated at the tax reforms. Also, the former Governor of Bayelsa and the senator representing Bayelsa, that's the Syria KDC, the former Speaker Yakubu Dogara gave reasons why this tax should be supported. I was amazed. Initially, when Dogara was talking, I was surprised, but he ended up saying that this is not against the North. Okay. This will push the North to be self-sufficient. It will push them to start to support from within. Also, the spokesperson for the House of Reps informed the sitting that they postponed the discussion on the tax bill. That's for the House of Reps, and the debate was supposed to hold today. But he said it's been postponed due to the need for further and broader consultation with all relevant stakeholders. The Kano House of Assembly, we know those ones have kicked against it. The president is still explaining to them continuously. Taiwo Oyedele did a detailed job, and I like the calmness. I'm going to learn that one, with which he addressed each question. Nothing they provoked the guy. You know, he just went on and on addressing each one. The rumor that Ted Fund and Naseni and the NISDA will be cancelled because of this bill. He says that's not true, that they are looking to consolidate these agencies because, of course, their monies for their fundings come from taxes anyway, personal income tax. And so they will consolidate and see how this will be neatly done. He said they'll be using technology. So where you declare lower taxes in one agency and go to the next agency and declare higher because you want to get waiver in one place and get, you know, all those things, all those loopholes, all those leakages will be blocked. Technology would, just the way we harmonize using NIMC, harmonize some of our biodata, all of that will be brought in. He also talked about
I wish that watched that town hall.
How this you should I think the video should be available. Everyone. So you said Lagos and Rivers will not become richer states because they bring in. What he gave the example using MTN. He says MTN brings in the ISVAT. Okay. And he explained that because of that, it's only because they're headquartered in certain states, Lagos, for example, that's why Lagos is the one seeming to generate it. So what they are going to do now is that if you make call in Kano, you may call in Borno, the taxes come from Lagos because that's where the headquarters is. And so those kind of things will be taken care of. And the tax reforms is not against any region, any state. In fact, at the end of the whole town hall, you saw the entire audience supporting. So
that's good. So he made it very, very inclusive.
Yes, it was inclusive. Everybody really loved that, you know, it was clarified. But I wanted to highlight the fact that Dogara spoke on it because there have been some videos going around social media trying to make it the same political and something that is against the North. So I'm happy that voices like this that understand exactly what is happening and see that this is for the good of the North and not something against the North. I think everyone should use your voice, your platform, please, to properly educate Nigerians wherever they are, so that, you know, saboteurs don't take it and turn
misinformation. So some people are sponsoring this aggression against the bill because they want us to end up the way we did with APIB. Remember the petroleum industry bill?
Stalled
20
forever.
years, we stalled forever. They want us to continue to debate it. Thank God the Senate has done their second reading. So we're just waiting for the House of Reps. And some states to align, and eventually I'm
happy. Okay, another story.
EFCCO, they said yesterday they got a court order to seize an estate containing 753 units of duplexes in Abuja. They said it is the commission's single largest asset recovery since it was established. But the identity of the estate promoter is unknown. This was since last night. They also said that they learned that the final security clearance will be required to disclose the estate owner, who is described as a former top government official. So they said EFCC filed this without disclosing the identity of, you know, this top official. And, you know, some of the word on the street is that, EFCC, if you seize this asset, how are you not mentioning the people? You know, a lot of the persons behind this. For them, they don't think that this is fully fighting corruption in itself. But I think the Commission's executive chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, explained it in a way for me that I understood. He said that, see, if you understand the intricacies involved in financial crimes investigation and prosecution, you'll discover that to recover 1 billion naira is war. You know, he goes ahead to say that. So for him, he's always made sure that when, you know, following, you know, cases like this, they start immediate asset tracing. So you know where the money is being spent. And if you can get the assets, for him, you know, if you can get the asset, it's important. And I know for some other countries as well, when they are doing like cases on corruption, you know, when they get the people, or to get them to forfeit, you know, what they have stolen, they usually give them like a percentage on it. Because for them, the idea is that these monies must come back to our coffers. These people are usually high-ranking, very rich. They have a lot of resources that they can leave this case in the courts for years and years. So we're not getting the money, we're not getting justice, we're not getting anything. So for him, it's at least we're getting the assets. The others we can deal with as
I like the way that sounds.
Yes.
So I think
it's creative
it's very creative. I totally agree with that.
I don't like China's option.
We hang them.
The minimum wage. So government activities were grounded yesterday in 3 states and the 6 area council, Federal Capital Territory, following a work boycott by public workers over how long the new minimum wage was being implemented. The workers deserted the FCT area councils, government, secretariats, ministries, departments and agencies in the affected states like Ebonyi, Kaduna, Nasarawa, in compliance with NLC's directive. So the government of the state had announced a minimum wage to be paid. And there's been a disagreement. I actually took a part of the story yesterday, disagreement on the mode of payment. Ebonyi had approved 75,000, Nasarawa 70,500, Kaduna 72,000. And we know that the minimum wage of 2024 has stipulated 70,000 naira benchmark. So in FCT, the 6 area council chairmen were unable to, fight off the strike, with workers staying away from their duty posts. The correspondent who visited the Kuje area council also notices that offices were under lock and key. They say a few workers were seen discussing in groups, but were dispersed after waiting for hours. They had no clear position on the matter. What really caught my attention was Ebonyi State, where the governor was very, very angry. That's Francis Nwifuru, and he vowed to sack any striking worker who failed to resume work by tomorrow. And he says NLC president has responded to him that his threat means nothing, it's irresponsible and unhelpful, and they will continue that. He also said that he's ordered the heads of ministries and commissioners to go to work and then keep a register for people who are coming to work, need to sign, and they will be paid on the table. So if you are not going to work in that state, you should forget being a state worker in Ebonyi State.
All right, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Oh, hello guys. Come closer. Now this is not a magic trick, but I'm about to show you the best breakfast show on television. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Wake Up Nigeria.
On Wake Up Nigeria, we take your mornings from drab to fab. A quick look at the newspaper headlines to keep you updated on news and current affairs. There's sports, great features and places to go, and things to do. It's lights, cameras, and movie madness because we squeeze the best blockbusters into bite-sized reviews. Our award-winning and sometimes Guinness World-breaking chefs perform a culinary masterpiece every single morning inside of the kitchen that leaves us salivating and asking for more. Our book reviews is always a page-turner, with thrilling stories, gripping memoirs, and fascinating tales. We keep you entertained with music performances, trending topics, and fun Friday games.
And on traffic today from Shasha bus stop.
So you guys plan to set me up?
Nah. 60 seconds is not enough to tell you all about Wake Up Nigeria. It's like trying to fit a T-Rex inside of a teacup. You'd have to tune in every morning at 7 a.m. to enjoy a whirlwind of excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Wake Up Nigeria, your ticket to a fabulous start every weekday morning.
Thanks for staying with us. Reviewing Punch now. PDP others urge talks as presidency defend bills. Picture here of the story Mariam took earlier. EFCC 753 duplex estate hides ex-government top shot's identity. Tears as custom officer wife 4 children die in Osun fire. Ajayi to appeal ruling upholding Aida Tiwa's deputy's candidacy. FG protests Nigerian Army's probe on ICC. Minimum wage in Wifuru films as 3 states and AFCC grounded. Low-income earners can withdraw total retirement savings, says Pencom. And FG auditors probe NNPCL's 2.7 trillion naira subsidy refund claim. Okay.
Let me take the human interest story. So the family of Kehinde Oduse has called on the police and other relevant authorities to probe the attack on their son, his wife, and children by suspected arsonists at the Ita Maroon community in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos. So this is a very sad story. They said this family of 4 were set ablaze in the early hours of their home. This Mr. Kehinde with his wife, a 22-year-old lady Eniola, 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, were sleeping. The husband had earlier opened up the window to allow for ventilation, and about 2 a.m. some unknown persons came around and started pouring petrol around their apartment. And when they noticed that the window was open, they also poured it into the room. The wife woke up from the smell and, woke her husband up. And while they were trying to figure out what was happening, they set that house ablaze. The wife and 2 children sadly passed on. The husband is battling for his life in hospital. The family are asking for proper investigation because from what they have been told now is that it's a cult, it was a cultist arrangement, maybe cultist gangs or something, but they do not believe that that is the case. They think that they should further investigate this and bring justice to this family.
Because a customs guy, so there's a possibility that maybe he's one guy that is investigating or maybe carrying out the raids or, detain some people that were carrying illegal.
More likely.
More likely.
So, and they just targeted him. Really sad.
The AG story. So the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, saying, as asked the Office of the Prosecutor at the ICC, that's the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands, to stop the prolonged investigation of the Nigerian military. He did this through his special advisor to the President on Communication and Publicity, Office of the AGF, and Minister of Justice, Kamaruddin Ogundele. That was yesterday. He stated that the 23rd session of the Assembly of States Parties to the Rome Statute and the ICC in The Hague stated that Nigeria at the global stage had demonstrated the will to promote justice and end terrorism, among other global crimes. And he said they respect the court's mandate to intervene when states are unable or unwilling to prosecute such crimes. It is important to emphasize that there must be respect and regard to the principle of complementarity. The ICC is meant as a court of last resort, but Nigeria as a country are already intervening on national legal systems and are able
show starts in 3, 2, and...
We're here again on your screens this beautiful morning doing what we do best.
Has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to suspect?
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
And so we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.
Oh, hello guys. Come closer. Now this is not a magic trick, but I'm about to show you the best breakfast show on television. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Wake Up Nigeria.
On Wake Up Nigeria, we take your mornings from drab to fab. A quick look at the newspaper headlines to keep you updated on news and current affairs. There's sports, great features and places to go, and things to do.
47, 48, 49, 50, it's okay.
It's lights, cameras, and movie madness because we squeeze the best blockbusters into bite-sized reviews. Our award-winning and sometimes Guinness World-breaking chefs perform a culinary masterpiece every single morning inside of the kitchen that leaves us salivating and asking for more. Our book reviews is always a page-turner with thrilling stories, gripping memoirs, and fascinating tales. We keep you entertained with music performances, trending topics, and fun Friday games.
And on traffic today from Shasha bus stop.
So you guys plan to set me up?
Nah. 60 seconds is not enough to tell you all about Wake Up Nigeria. It's like trying to fit a T-Rex inside of a teacup. You'd have to tune in every morning at 7 a.m. to enjoy a whirlwind of excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Wake Up Nigeria, your ticket to a fabulous start every weekday morning.
show starts in 3, 2, and...
We're here again on your screens this beautiful morning doing what we do best.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Yeah, that's all we can take. I choose to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now. His name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah, but do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym though, you're getting fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some sports.
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's get talking.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for Pure Entertainment. Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.
Oh, hello guys. Come closer. Now, this is not a magic trick, but I'm about to show you the best breakfast show on television. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Wake Up Nigeria.
On Wake Up Nigeria, we take your mornings from drab to fab. A quick look at the newspaper headlines to keep you updated on news and current affairs. There's sports, great features and places to go, and things to do. It's lights, cameras, and movie madness because we squeeze the best blockbusters into bite-sized reviews. Our award-winning and sometimes Guinness World-breaking chefs perform a culinary masterpiece every single morning inside of the kitchen that leaves us salivating and asking for more. Our book reviews is always a page-turner with thrilling stories, gripping memoirs, and fascinating tales. We keep you entertained with music performances, trending topics, and fun Friday games.
And on traffic today from Shasha bus stop.
So you guys plan to set me up?
Nah. 60 seconds is not enough to tell you all about Wake Up Nigeria. It's like trying to fit a T-Rex inside of a teacup. You'd have to tune in every morning at 7 a.m. to enjoy a whirlwind of excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Wake Up Nigeria, your ticket to a fabulous start every weekday morning.
Beggy, come in. You're not thinking. Bala, we eat. Yana. Beggy, come in. You're not thinking. Bala, we eat. Yana. What? Oh, yeah, you come in.
NDPC, championing privacy rights. Strength, pride, optimism, happiness runs through our veins. High blood pressure shouldn't. 1 in 3 adult Nigerians may have high blood pressure. Do you? Omron provides a solution for checking your blood pressure anytime, anywhere for you to avoid critical cardiovascular diseases. To keep Nigeria healthy, proud, and happy. Omron blood pressure monitors are clinically validated devices that give the same consistent, accurate blood pressure readings. Give a gift that keeps giving this season. Get your Omron blood pressure monitor today and take control of your health. Distributed by New Heights Pharmaceutical. Omron, all for healthcare.
Busy morning in the kitchen today as mom tries to prepare meal for the family. And suddenly, the faucet stops working. She tries to fix it. She's frustrated. She wonders how she could get this fixed.
Just call Workman.
Spending quality time with family, and then the TV trips off. Dad wonders what the problem might be. He goes to check, but with no solution. He wonders how he could get this fixed.
Just call Workman.
Go? Yeah. Ready for a family trip? What isn't coming on?
What's the problem?
Dad wonders.
Dad, just call Workman.
With Workman, you can get reliable.
In our lives, is it advisable to put our whole business online? What is social media display of affection?
When man and woman will not let us have peace on the gram. Each day you see them cuddling and kissing and
staying with us. So joining us on the show is the director of Kpakpando Language Hub, Nwonyemazi. She will be talking about Kpakpando language on the show today. Welcome to the show, Nwonyemazi.
Cha-cha-cha Igbo kwenu? Yeah. Cha-cha-cha Nigeria kwenu? Yeah. Uwa niile kwezuono.
Welcome to the show. Good to have you. We love the energy.
Thank you.
So tell us about Kpakpando Language Hub.
Okay, so Kpakpando Language Hub is an online Igbo language hub. It's a registered educational organization. Yeah. Yes, where we teach Igbo language to people online.
Nice.
People of any age. Yes. And we just recently had a branch where we now affiliate with a sister organization in Canada, where we now teach people who want to learn Yoruba. But that is for those who want.
Yes.
Yes. So we have that now. But basically, Kpakpando Language Hub teaches Igbo language to anybody interested anywhere in the world online.
So are you a professional teacher or you just teach it because you're Igbo?
I'm a professional teacher. I'm a language teacher. And then I'm a curriculum expert.
Nice.
So I analyze curriculum, I design it, I implement it, I evaluate it. You know, and then I just apply it to Igbo language. So I can teach anybody of any age the Igbo language online.
Nice.
Okay, how long has the Kpakpando Language Hub existed
for? It has existed since 2017.
Okay.
Yes, we've been there. We started with physical classes, and then we now moved on to online classes when the COVID broke out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what else do you promote? You know, I know you handle basically the languages, but what other aspects of the culture, the Igbo culture, do you promote in Kpakpando?
Okay, so basically, language. But then we had to look for diverse ways of, promoting the Igbo culture and language. First of all, we have the Igbo tunes. IGBO TOONS.
Okay.
So it's there on YouTube. We do cartoons. Yes, we do Igbo cartoons. Igbo tunes. So yes, if you have a baby or anybody, you can go to Igbo tunes and then you watch. And then we also started, we created a mass choir. So we gathered children from the ages of 5 to 17.
Nice.
And so we now release, we sing songs and we dance. So our first single is coming out on Thursday by 6 p.m.
So how does somebody become a member? Because this is done, they sweet me. And I want to learn so that I can be speaking with my neighbors.
You register. Okay. You register, if you go to our website.
Their criteria, age, anything?
No, like from 4 years.
Okay.
My youngest student in the diaspora is 4 years. Okay. The oldest about 36 years. Okay. So it's just from 4 where you can start talking. Then
Can I ask you why? Why Igbo language? Why did you think it was necessary for us to begin to teach our indigenous languages?
Okay, so I advocate for cultural education.
Okay.
I have a passion for our culture. It's beyond Igbo. I want to see children speak their language because it's going. It's gradually going. So I said, when I started with Igbo language, others will be inspired to start doing theirs for their own children in their own languages as well.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So I know that you having a concert.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Okay. So we're having an Igbo Christmas concert. Woo! Yes. At the Lagos Continental Hotel.
Nice.
Victoria Island.
Okay.
And that concert, when coming, you have just look at me now.
Yes.
Try.
Yes.
Try and look.
That's the code.
Iboti.
I love it.
Are we invited? Yes, now you should come.
So what
let's find out.
Yes, you go to www.papandohub.com. The ticket is there.
Okay.
Yeah, you see where the flyer is where it pops on the website. You click on the link. You can get as many tickets as you want just with one click.
Is it the same website for the camp registration?
Yes, we have an Igbo Christmas camp.
Okay.
So we know a number of children are coming in from the diaspora. We know some are here who also want to, engage physically. So that's why we did that camp. To register for that camp as well, you have to go to www.papandohub.com. You'll see the flyer, you click on the link, and then you register.
Activities, what's going to be happening?
Look, it's going to be fun. Like the one we had in August, we brought people who cooked Igbo dishes for the children.
Okay.
Basically, myself and my teachers, we teach the language itself. And then we now brought in fun activities. So every day we had a cook who would come and teach us one Igbo delicacy or the other. We brought Igbo dancers. And we also showed children documentaries to know about their culture. Yes, to know about their culture. Different aspects. So, and then we did walkouts with Igbo songs. So while Igbo songs are playing, we're dancing.
I can imagine.
And it's actually luxurious. We usually use a beautiful apartment where they have good comfort. Yes.
To the concert, what are the side attractions of the concert? What are just going to be singing? What exactly is going to happen at the concert?
So first of all, we are bringing Emma and Revelation.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about Emma and Revelation. They are the grooving, heavy hits Igbo Christian gospel musicians we have now in Nigeria and the world at large. Yes, we are bringing Frank Edwards.
Nice.
We are bringing Lillian Neji.
Okay.
We are bringing a group. We have about 2 groups of Ogene instrumentalists. So yes, it's going to be fun, and then we're going to have red carpets for children. Actually, my focus is the younger generation.
Right.
Yeah. But then we are bringing parents as well, because the children cannot come by themselves.
Yes.
So when the children are coming, let them come well dressed in the Igbo regalia, and then have good time in the presence of God.
Oh, I love it.
How many days is this camp? This
camp is 15th to 18th.
15th to 18th.
15th, 16th, 17th. Yes, of December. 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th.
Out of school.
Yes, it's holiday period.
So children who are totally not Igbo, they've never heard a word of Igbo in their entire life. Can they come so I can learn?
That's why I'm here.
How about a young man eyeing an Igbo babe and thinking?
Look, let me tell you, people in the diaspora, they bring their Oyibo wives for me.
Okay.
They want them to teach online.
Wow.
So anybody.
Okay, so I need your website and social media handles. I want to send link to my friend before she goes back to
take a picture. It's on the screen.
Okay, it's on the screen. So www.papandohub.com. Yes. If you go there, you will see anything. If you want to register, my number is there on the flyers.
So it's Papa Ndo on Instagram as well.
Affordability,
it's affordable. It's affordable. You know, good things are not cheap. But if you want quality, being a curriculum expert, I break it down, you know, so that you can imbibe it very well.
So adults like us that want to learn Igbo, can we also cover just the children?
Just register. Which one now?
For the language, some of us want to learn.
Register online.
Okay.
You understand? It's just to get us.
But the concept for the children.
The concept is for children and adults.
Okay.
How long would you say it takes like an average person to learn the language when they just...
Yeah, I usually advise 2 years. No, calm down, relax.
You have to be consistent.
Relax.
Of course.
I'm a curriculum expert. I won't rush you. I won't deceive you.
Okay.
So one step at a time. One step at a time. Now, why I say 2 years, also remember that there are people who we have different learning abilities. So those who can learn faster, pick faster. Those who have a slower pace, so yes. So I give you 2 years, you're able to speak if you are consistent.
Yes.
Don't just start and stop and say, I'm not doing again. When you start, be consistent, and then some parents will say, the child is not speaking, be patient. Learning is a gradual process.
I have to ask you about your name. Is that your birth name, or that's just like a title?
My name is Joyce Chinwendu.
But she's Mazi's wife.
But then, I married a man from Arondi Zog.
Okay.
Then a man is called Maz.
Okay.
Mr. Then the wife is Munye Maz. And
wife
the
of
daughter,
Mr.
Yes, and the daughter of the Maz is called Adamaz.
So I know because like I said, I have plenty Igbo neighbors that there are different variants to the language, just as we have the Jebus and all of that in Yoruba. So which one is the former one that you're teaching, or are you able to dive into any area of?
I do the Central Igbo. But then, yes, the Central. Yes, the Central Igbo.
Read and write.
But because of my expertise, I also take into cognizance the different dialects. So sometimes you could be teaching a child how to say my name is. The child will say I'll teach Ahambo, but an Anambra child will say Afambo. I don't jettison it.
We say Afambo.
I don't tell the child, hey, say Ahambo. No. So I'll say Afambo is correct. That's your dialect. Keep saying it. So I allow them, when I teach in the Central Igbo, if they want to express themselves, they use their dialect, is welcomed. What I do is I tell the people in the class that this is his or her own dialect.
So for reading and writing, they have to mention the Central. Yes. So you teach, while you are learning the language as well, somebody can choose to read and write.
Because you must read and write while learning.
Okay.
You have to take notes, because you have to write. I make sure you write.
So are your teachers all certified, or just everybody just is it just a passion or voluntary thing?
No, my teachers certified. And then I train them as well. We do from time to time we have trainings.
Any other thing you want to tell us, because we're running out of time?
Yes, so please, we're expecting you, our viewers, Biko, go and get your tickets for the Igbo Christmas concert. Go to our website, if you have your friends, even if you're not Igbo and you just want to have that Igbo vibe, go to our website and then get the tickets. And then also you can go to, we have our handle on social media. Our handle is IGBOTOONS, Igbo Tunes. So if you go to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you follow us on Igbo to see us. Papando Language Hub.
On Instagram, Facebook.
The concert, please. The concert is on the 19th of December at the Lagos Continental Hotel.
19th.
Yes, 19th.
Let's hail you again. Let's hail him.
Cha-cha-cha Igbo kwenu. Cha-cha-cha Igbo kwenu.
Yeah.
Kwenu.
Yeah.
Kwenu.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one better.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You still spoil.
That woman. Bam! Bam!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's get talk now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.
Oh, hello guys. Come closer. Now this is not a magic trick, but I'm about to show you the best breakfast show on television. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Wake Up Nigeria.
On Wake Up Nigeria, we take your mornings from drab to fab. A quick look at the newspaper headlines to keep you updated on news and current affairs. There's sports, great features and places to go, and things to do. It's lights, cameras, and movie madness because we squeeze the best blockbusters into bite-sized reviews. Our award-winning and sometimes Guinness World-breaking chefs perform a culinary masterpiece every single morning inside of the kitchen that leaves us salivating and asking for more. Our book reviews is always a page-turner with thrilling stories, gripping memoirs, and fascinating tales. We keep you entertained with music performances, trending topics, and fun Friday games.
And on traffic today from Shasha bus stop.
So you guys plan to set me up?
Nah. 60 seconds is not enough to tell you all about Wake Up Nigeria. It's like trying to fit a T-Rex inside of a teacup. You'd have to tune in every morning at 7 a.m. to enjoy a whirlwind of excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments. Wake Up Nigeria, your ticket to a fabulous start every weekday morning.
about to start.
Thanks for staying with us. So our focus today is to discuss some of the enormous pressures to have children here in Nigeria, even with the highest fertility rate in the world, is alarming. Many couples still struggle to conceive, and when that happens, the woman takes the brunt of the blame for not conceiving. Now, there's something called cryptic pregnancy. It's a recognized medical phenomenon in which a woman is unaware of her pregnancy until late stages. This term, as we have come to find out, has been hijacked by quite a bit of scammers, making ignorant women actually believe they are pregnant. So the BBC Eye recently launched a documentary on cryptic pregnancy scam targeting women in Nigeria. Joining us to speak on the findings in the documentary via Zoom is Yemisi Adegoke, senior reporter, BBC News. Welcome to the show, Yemisi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the show. So tell us a bit about this phenomenon, cryptic pregnancy, especially the scammers here in Nigeria. What is it about? What did you find?
So as you said, the term cryptic pregnancy is a recognized medical term which refers to women who are pregnant and go throughout the pregnancy without knowing that they're pregnant. But this is something that has been hijacked in Nigeria by scammers who essentially trick women into believing that they're pregnant when they aren't. They give them various types of medication, which sometimes makes their body swell, and they believe that they are carrying children. These scammers will tell these women not to go to traditional doctors. They'll tell them not to get any tests, so no ultrasounds, no blood tests. They're told that if they take these tests and they come back negative, that's normal. They're told that they're not carrying their babies in their womb, they're carrying their babies in their back, in their waist. Sometimes these pregnancies last for up to 2 years, and when the time comes for delivery, they are told that the pregnancy can only be induced, or labor can only be induced rather, by these doctors themselves. So it's a really complicated scam that preys on women that are desperate to have children.
Yeah, so I watched the documentary, and it was shocking to see that even educated women fell for this. And in your opinion, what do you think is responsible for people who are supposed to know better to fall for such a scam, especially when you're hearing something that, like, you're going to be carrying the baby at your back or at your waist, and then you see people who are falling for this and spending a huge amount of money to get this fake pregnancy?
Well, I think that's the thing about this scam. It's usually the victims that fall for this are typically educated. They are people that are wealthy. This is not a cheap scam. This costs millions and millions of naira, this so-called treatment. I think the reasons people fall for it are a mix of things. There is the desperation to have a child. Many of these couples have been trying to conceive for many, many years without success. They're introduced to this scam by people that have been through it and have come out the other end with a child, so they're convinced that it works. There's also the scammers. They're very sophisticated. You know, there's a reason they're telling them not to go to hospitals, not to get medical tests, to trust them and nobody else. And then there's also the religious element, which I don't think you can separate from this. You know, the type of Christianity that's practiced in Nigeria is heavily focused on the idea of the miraculous, that miracles are possible. That's why, you know, these babies are referred to as miracle babies. And if you are of the belief that, you know, miracles are possible, then some people will ask, well, why isn't this possible? Why can't there be a pregnancy that lasts for 13, 14, 15 months? And ultimately, because with this scam, these women do end up with children, to them it's something that works. So all these sort of factors feed into why people are falling for this.
Yemisi, you know, I'm curious, why did you decide to investigate this story? Was it someone you had come in contact with? Or was there just, you know, something you had seen, data you had seen that prompted you to investigate this story?
So this was a huge team effort, and all of us had heard about this story. I mean, I first heard about this story on social media. There was a doctor tweeting about an experience he had with a patient who said that she had had this miraculous pregnancy treatment. And to me, it sounded completely outlandish. I couldn't believe it. My colleagues, Chiagozie and Bere, who you see in the film as the undercover reporters, had also been doing their own research, and our producer in London. So all of us kind of came together on this. But you know, we were surprised to kind of see the scale. It's difficult to put a concrete number because it is so secretive. The nature of the scam means that people don't want this information out there. But, you know, as you see in the film, in the clinic, there are dozens and dozens of women waiting for this treatment. And that's just one clinic on one Saturday morning. Exactly. So you can imagine how many of these clinics exist across the country and how many, potentially dozens and dozens of women are being duped by this.
Okay, so did you find this linked to some form of baby factories in any of your during this investigation?
Yes, so one of the big questions that we sought to answer throughout this was, where are the babies coming from? Because we know that these children are not biologically related to these cryptic mothers, so the babies are coming from somewhere. And it was the Commissioner for Women's Affairs in Anambra State who made that tie for us that, you know, she said quite definitively that there is no cryptic pregnancy without baby trafficking. And anyone who's gone through this process, the children that they have are children that are trafficked. And that either means that they're coming from baby factories, as you mentioned, the facility in the film that, you know, you can see the young girls that were being basically held captive there. Right. And sometimes brothels too. If young sex workers, if they get pregnant, their babies are often taken and sold. So right. there is a link to trafficking there.
Yeah, see, that's one of the problems I'm having with this entire episode, because I can't seem to wrap my head around calling these women victims, because for me they seem to be complicit. First of all, you're told you're pregnant and there's no visible pregnancy, and then 9 months after or 2 years after, when you accept a baby, shouldn't they also be arrested or somehow complicit in this entire scam?
I mean, I think that's part of the sort of difficulty, I think, with this story. I think these women are in very vulnerable states a lot of the time. There are, as we all know, massive challenges and stigma attached to infertility, particularly women. We spoke to women that have been abused, ostracized by their families, have faced all kinds of, you know, derogatory and demeaning treatment because they've been unable to conceive. And that pushes some people to extremes. I think there are some women who genuinely believe that these are their children. Others maybe are a little bit more, you know, aware that there's something dodgy going on. But I think that, you know, it's difficult to fully kind of villainize these people when you kind of hear how vulnerable they are. And that's not to excuse, you know, what they're doing. But I think once you kind of hear these stories and know how difficult life is for some of these women, and that desperation, I mean, desperation pushes people to do all kinds of things, and that's not to excuse it. I just think it's a little bit messy.
Okay.
You know, just to understand a bit, because, you know, in the introduction, we're told that they would give these women some injections and some treatments. So I'm curious, were you able to find out what injections and medicines that they gave them, and how did they affect their health, or if it was just some placebo, you know? And then when they get the children, do they take them for hospital visits? Is there any point in time, do you have any point in time to show that maybe they check the DNA and realize that they were not their biological children? You know, how does it eventually end up for these mothers and children?
So the medication question, that's a very good question. We actually did try to get the medication tested. Our undercover reporter was given, she went to the clinic twice and was given medication on 2 occasions. So we did try to take it to the lab to get it tested. The problem is that you need a very large sample in order to test, and we simply didn't have enough medication for them to categorically determine what the medication is, which was very unfortunate. So I don't want to speculate on what it could potentially be. What we do know is that it does cause swelling. That a lot of the women that we spoke to that have been through the process reported that, you know, their stomach starts swelling. There was a lady who said that, after she'd taken the medication, she felt like she couldn't breathe. So there are potential health implications. We just can't really say what, unfortunately. And as for the children, in the film, you do see a woman with a baby that she had through this cryptic pregnancy process. She did actually take the child for a DNA test because her husband's family did not believe that this child was biologically theirs. The DNA test did come back negative. Her and her husband said that their cryptic doctor told them that the DNA would change within a year. So they believe...
I don't even know to laugh or
cry. They believe that the DNA will change within a year. And I mean, if you watch the film, you'll kind of see the reaction of the commissioner and sort of everybody in the room. But they are adamant that the DNA will change within a year to reflect their DNA and that he is the young boy is their biological child.
Okay. So, this is a very sad one for me.
Yeah.
Because I can relate. I've seen women in this category a lot. My fear is, in order to give them their babies, they have to go through childbirth, labor or cesarean sessions. Have you seen women who went the entire hall? Did you see them during this recording? And there's possibility of harvesting an organ if you're, allowing doctors to do invasive procedure. Did you see any damaging result as a result of this in any of the women?
So what we have been told in terms of labor is that sometimes these women are given an injection and they fall asleep and they wake up with a cesarean-like incision on their stomachs. Other times they say that they have been told to push, to sort of lie back and push. And ultimately they're given a child at the end. We haven't heard of any sort of complications around that yet, but those are the stories that we have heard, that it's either they're given medication, they go to sleep and they wake up with cuts on their stomachs, or they're given something and told to push.
So the particular doctor that was investigated, I would like to know what is happening to her at the moment. What evidence were you able to get to probably prosecute her in line with the government? And how do you think, because I strongly believe that if we still continue the narrative in Nigeria where if you do not have a husband, you are not able to have a child, you are less than a woman, we're definitely going to have people put in this desperate mode. And this people will always keep scamming them of their money to give them what they want, right? So how do you also think that we can begin to, change the mentality of Nigerians, the society at large, and how we treat women who have infertility issues?
So with Dr. Ruth, as you saw with the conclusion of the film, she told our undercover reporter that she was pregnant. We did a pregnancy test on our undercover reporter. She wasn't pregnant. What happens to her now is down to the authorities. We are reporters, we are journalists. Our job is to expose wrongdoing. We do not have the power to prosecute. That is down to
the government.
To take that on. It's not our job. Our remit doesn't stretch that far. But we are waiting to see what will happen to her, if anything.
Right.
With regard to the stigma, I think that's a really important point, and I think the authorities can do a lot in terms of prosecuting people that they find are responsible for these kinds of scams. But if the attitudes don't change towards women and fertility, stigma around adoption and other paths to parenthood, we're going to continue to see scams like this. This is why these types of scams thrive, because there is that abuse and ostracization leveled at women who, for whatever reason, are unable to have children.
Let me see. So the reason why I was struggling is because I've actually experienced this in my own life. So let me show you with you my own story. My brother was supposed to get married to a woman. They were supposed to be dating. Now, for whatever reason, she said she got pregnant. And because she got pregnant, my family started planning a wedding. So immediately, she was saying that she was about 4 months pregnant, and her tummy was actually visibly inflated. So the entire family put together an introduction. In fact, it was almost an engagement. It wasn't an engagement, it was an introduction. Her house was in Lekki. We went there with family to meet the family, my brother's My brother came with her. She's the husband's wife, or husband's family. Anyways, we did the introduction. After that, about a month after, my brother tried to follow her for antenatal, but she keeps saying, don't bother, you don't have to follow me for antenatal. At some point, when she was supposed to be maybe 6 months in, he then found out that there was nothing in her tummy. She was never pregnant. But she had an inflated because she was actually taking some of these hormones. So now I keep saying that it's good to see some women are victims. But in some cases, some women use it to scam others because he had to just call off everything. In fact, he went as bad into depression because he was expecting twins. We painted the children's room, boy, girl. He bought cribs. I mean, we all were expecting babies. The whole family, he was really excited, painted the room, bought clothes.
She did the scam.
She scammed him. It was a family thing.
Okay, so that might be
in that situation, so it's deliberate. So there are some people who know they can take hormones to scam somebody into get married.
Advice is the stigma. So I had a close friend who had what is called false pregnancy. She had gone in 2 months because she didn't see her period, which had happened to me. I had gone 56 days without my period, and it was a scan that showed I was pregnant. So hormonally, things can happen. She had gone in 2 months and found out a pregnancy test that was positive, came back home excited, we had all celebrated. 4 months into her pregnancy, she's, of course, growing, her body parts are growing. And then we said, let's do a scan. And the scan showed that there was no pregnancy. And so she got into a desperate search for validation in one hospital to the next, because the in-laws, you know the pressure on women. How will she tell them? And she visibly looks it. So how does she... And we had to hold her hand, assure her that we would love her through whether or not she has a baby. Till date, she's different angles. She's not had a baby. How do you advise, people, society to treat some cases that are innocent, especially so that the women don't get desperate and find a hospital like this and just buy a baby?
I know, and it's not really a question to you, Yemisi. It's a conversation.
Well, yes,
I don't want to put you on the spot. But let me see if she wants to say something. Yemisi, want to say something to this?
No, I mean, I think, it's complicated. I think what we've seen women who definitely do believe this, and whether that's them sort of suspending the rational part of their brain because they're just so desperate to believe this. Like I said, I think desperation really drives people to do crazy things they wouldn't normally do. And I think if you're being pushed to the point where you're sort of taking any kind of medication that you don't know what it is, that you're willing to risk your health, you're willing to put yourself through all sorts, taking on a trafficked child, I mean, I think you have to ask what would drive someone to do that. That's what does that say about society? That we're in a country, or we have a culture that would push women, that the stigma is so bad that they feel that they cannot live without doing this, that they have to do, this is a path that they would choose, rather than just saying, maybe we should adopt, or maybe we should look for another path to become parents, or maybe it's just not in the cards for us to become parents. Why is it that women are being driven to do this? I think is sort of the bigger question.
So this isn't a question too particularly, but it's about, where I hope this investigation would lead. That definitely that doctor must have some association with like a kidnap ring or something like that. Yes, baby trafficking. There's a phenomenon, of course, here in Nigeria where we have baby factories. And usually the story we have is young teenage girls, taken to a special place, and then, they give birth to their babies that they hand over, sometimes for free, sometimes for some amount of money. And I hope that your investigation would lead to a serious investigation into that and see how we can stop that from continuing in our country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yemisi. We have to let you go at this point, but we're wishing you all the best with this investigation and hope that, indeed, as Mariam said, that something does come out of it. Any final words on your end before we let you go?
No, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everybody that has watched the film. It's still available on the BBC Africa YouTube channel. The name is Nigeria's Miracle Baby Scammers.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. Stay with us.
start in 3, 2, and...
We're here again on your screens this beautiful morning doing what we do best.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take.
I choose
to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of cryptic pregnancy, baby factories, and the scams that goes around across Nigeria. And we'd like to just hear your own thoughts on it. You can call us on the numbers on your screen so that we can hear your stories. 081-0764-1679, 090241-63440. You can send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. So we've been hearing about these things, and I mean, people have been scammed. As I said, I had a person, I was saying that even Tokpo was at the introduction. I think Jumoke was there. I'm not sure if you were there. So we all came, thinking that we're having it. So some people might have done it intentionally. Others may not have done it intentionally because they thought they were actually pregnant. But there are different reasons. So what are your thoughts on how these people, these scammers, are using that term, cryptic pregnancy, which you can find online?
Yes.
They're now using to scam Nigerians, and Nigerians are falling for it.
Okay, so in the olden days in our custom, when you have a cryptic pregnancy, you just wait and then suddenly get pain and then you go into labor. You can't explain it. Some people see their periods for that 9 months. Some people, they'll say, maybe a part of your area was swelling. In my custom, they'll say, carry the baby for yash, the belly for yash. Because during that period, you have a bigger bump.
Yeah.
Some is the bigger arm. They'll say carry the belly for arm. So we have accepted the use. And so they just simply pick something we're used to and something that is well believed in Africa here and carry this. If you carry a pregnancy for 3 years, it's a miracle baby now. You're just in your pregnancy state. You've not seen your period for 3 years and suddenly you're in labor, rush to the hospital, baby pops out of you. It's a miracle baby. So we've accepted this condition. These are things that we've seen. I have grandmothers whose children I know who are living testament.
Not just giving it the label, cryptic pregnancy.
So we put on name and cryptic, but it's a phenomenon well accepted in Africa. We've seen it too many times not to believe it. So when somebody packages it and you have seen somebody, God forbid if it was me, I would fall for this thing. Because I know a grandmother whose son is a patriarch in our family today, whose mother carried the pregnancy for 3 years. Well celebrated in my village, yes.
Wow.
And it's a living testament today. I would have thought if somebody were telling me that my baby was in my bum because it's something I've heard all my life.
Wow.
Growing up, I would have said, my yash big. Okay, Nadia, I carried
Never heard it.
Even with a flat tummy, I would believe it. It's a term commonly used in certain places. So I would have fallen for this kind of scam. And even if you convince me as a spiritualist that it's a lie, I would have told you because I have seen it and the person is living that it's possible.
Yeah.
So we must deal with that part first.
I hear you, about that, and I can hear how if someone who is not really educated or an illiterate or not well exposed can fall for that. But this particular investigation talks about people who are quite educated, quite wealthy, should know better, who are falling for this. So I know that this really has to do with just desperation. And when you find yourself, when you're desperate about anything, you are vulnerable to anything. You believe anything. Some of them to the point that you even take your child, like some of the things that they ask them to do, if you're not desperate, you would immediately know that this is not true. This is a red flag. You cannot be associated with this. But when you have tried everything, and you even have some people say to you, this is your fault. And this particular one that you can do to help save your face or save your family, you're refusing to do, almost to the point that they'll sell it to you as if you're selfish.
Yeah.
So those sort of people, I can see how they can fall for it. But I don't think it's because they are ignorant of that this is, they're ignorant about the process, the process of pregnancy. They understand that pregnancies take 9 months, a little bit over for some people. But, the whole scheming, especially for those who have gone away for a year or 2 years. Now, the other part of this scam that is worrisome, as I mentioned, is the drugs that they take. And when she also mentioned that some of them are giving cuts on their bodies, meaning they will you into a room and perform some form of surgery over you. Like the desperation to put yourself through that, So really, the way to solve this is society, Nigerian society, that's all of us. What are the conversations we should be having? Even in churches, when we call for people for their, what do they call, fruits of the womb and things like that, what are we truly perpetuating? So let's sit down and think about it, the words that we say to each other, and really, that's
part of society. I think what BC said earlier about, we need to actually ensure that these people are arrested, are prosecuted, because we need to see it, because these scammers they're cleaning out.
Yeah. And we need to step down on the pressure that we put on one another. It also has to do with how we have laid a lot of emphasis on what makes a woman. So your identity is not complete as a woman if you do not have a husband, if you do not have a child. You are seen as less of a woman than another person who has a child and has a husband. We need to step down on that. And that is one of the reasons we see women who are educated and yet suspend all their cognitive abilities to process information and fall into this kind of scam. Then the crave for miracles is also another problem. And she alluded to that in her analogy, where we like to believe that this miracle, once this miracle man just comes, it can suspend everything and the child will just show up. And so they tell us to do these things, and don't follow logic, don't go to the hospitals to check. Even when you go and check in the hospitals, you will not see the child because it's hiding in your back or it's hiding in your arm. And educated people will assimilate this and accept it just because we are hoping and believing in miracles. So our religious houses need to do better in terms of how they get women to understand that if it's not your time, it's not your time. If you have to go to the hospital, follow the right routines. Go for your checkups. Go for your antenatal. Just go the natural way. And if peradventure you do not get pregnant, it's also okay. It doesn't stop you. There's a part of the scripture that says the woman who does not have her own child has multitudes as children. No, it could also be a part of it. But why we frown at that is because we want to be able to carry our own. And I know people will come and say, because you have your own children. That's not what I'm saying. But if we step down on the pressure on women, we will find that women will still be happy, will still enjoy their marriages, even if children are not there, and they will not be desperate to fall into scams like this.
Let me take Foluke from London. Thanks for calling, Foluke.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, you're live. Yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I used to practice in Nigeria as a medical doctor. And I can tell you that thing is real. I used to have a patient who had waited for 11 years for a baby. And she just called me up one day and told me that she had malaria symptoms and that she needed me to treat her. So I said, okay, meet me in the hospital. I was working in Cryptic. She came over and she told me she was pregnant, 5 months. I was like, wow. 5 months. So she looked fast, but I was wondering, pregnant 5 months? Okay. I said, all right, what do you want me to do for you? She said, okay. And she was going to Abuja the next day to have a steroid injection. I was like, why did you go from Akure to Abuja for tetanus injection? She said, oh, her pregnancy is a special one. And her doctor had told her that she must not take any injection elsewhere and she must not do a scan. I was like, if you are 5 months pregnant, you want to travel from Akure to Abuja, that's a lot of risk. Don't worry. Let me give you the TC and you call your doctor. So I gave her the TC. I was not worried. Because she was looking, I was like, the lady cannot be 5 months pregnant. I now told her, okay, my lady, can you let us just do a scan and be sure the baby is fine? She said, no, that she was not allowed to have a scan. I said, no. Okay, let's do a pregnancy test first. And we did a pregnancy test and it was negative. However, she had been told that when it's time for her to deliver, she must come to that hospital to deliver. And the plan was for them to cut her, just like the other lady said.
Oh, look here. So, oh, my goodness.
Her friend's case is a case of somebody being away. When you have subscribed to that arrangement, because apart from those who fall victim of these cryptic pregnancy scammers, there are those who subscribe to baby factories, subscribers who are waiting for their babies, who go in, they take the hormones in clinics to show family and society that they are carrying pregnancies, and at the end of the day, bring in babies that are not of their husbands into the family. Exactly. So there are those women.
That's a scam, though.
That's a scam. But I must agree with BC that society needs to step down the pressure on women. And there are ways to assist a woman going through infertility to give birth, because you need her mentally to be positive. Yeah. When I was going through that, one person that stood out for me, aside my immediate family members, was my father-in-law. Never once did he say something negative about the situation of my waiting. And when I refused to go in for my treatments, he would say, go now, see babies all over you. So that kind of positive statement can change a woman's perspective. My friend, on the other hand, even when she later got pregnant, real pregnancy, and she was losing her babies preterm, her father-in-law would say to her, I don't know why we're waiting for your baby. You're going to lose them anyway. You're barren. So such negative statements cannot get a woman to be positively upright to fight through this thing. I was told that I'll wait for 10 years. I got my baby in 4 years. Some people cannot, because the pressure at home is so much that they're constantly in the negative mindset. Hold their hands through whatever waiting and make the waiting worth it. They will have their babies, and we must, as society, be shielding to us. Try to understand what they are going through and try to understand how you can come in, help, accompany them to hospitals. You know, don't let them fall into victims of sickness.
Let me take this call from Kate. Thanks for calling. You're live, Kate.
Good morning, Morales.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Kate from Ipaja. This critical pregnancy thing, I'm a witness. Right now, I've been pregnant for a year plus.
Okay.
It's not that I have not had issue, I've not been pregnant before. But the thing there is, I've gone to hospital. The very first time I got pregnant, I noticed I was pregnant. I went to the hospital, it was positive. After some months, I decided to start antenatal. Going through the normal process, I noticed they said there was nothing. But if you see me, the signs, everything is there. But the thing there is, if I get here now, they say no pregnancy. No pregnancy. I don't understand. But I am feeling like my hips, my thighs, behind my lower abdomen, the same thing. I'm feeling it. Sometimes I'll menstruate, but it has been for a month now. I've not been menstruating, and my tummy is there. I don't know. They said Cryptic. I've gone through hospitals. I don't know. I never took a paracetamol from anybody. I never did. I don't even know what it is. So I don't know whether some people fall for it, but I am talking to you. I'm a living witness. I'm carrying it now, live and direct.
Okay, Kate, let me get Nima to ask you a question. 1 second, Kate.
So, I just said that I had someone who had this condition, and it was called false pregnancy. It's a situation where your body presents pregnancy symptoms without actually having a baby in your uterus. So you're actually growing your tummy, your breast is heavy, you're even, you know, other signs, swollen feet in some cases, and you're showing all the signs. So it's important that you see a gynae at this stage. As long as they're telling you at antenatal there's no baby in there, you need to see a gynecologist. There's an hormone they give you that your body corrects itself and the false symptoms disappear, and then you have to do some form of exercises. But you can't continue to live under this pretense. The false, I don't want to call it pretense.
Belief. False belief.
Yes, because your body is presenting. So hormonally, women vary. The spectrum is wide. Yeah. You know, we have different PCOS, and different wide.
So that it doesn't. Yeah,
so are you still there?
Yeah, I hope you don't feel too bad, because it's quite it happens to a number of women, so it's not that it's just particularly.
Not you alone, yeah.
And thank God for science. There are different therapies that can help you, you know, get over this.
You know, there was something that Pastor Sam Adeyemi, Tokwe's pastor, said during their recent event, leadership event. He said that God is made up of two sides, the spiritual and the physical, and the wisdom. He called the wisdom. Okay. There's some nations that prioritize wisdom over supernatural. Those nations, they're able to merge it, but they're able to see things logically. But in nations like ours that we prioritize spirituality, we only see the spiritual. We don't see the reasoning. We don't see the wisdom part. So we only focus on the miraculous. And that's why we can easily just believe that this thing would happen. It is me. It's my turn. However that baby is going to come spiritually, I would have this child. In 9 months, the baby will come miraculously to me, and everybody will celebrate me. So we don't even try to rationalize how did this be, whose baby, who baby formed this thing.
We are not even prioritizing the spiritual properly. That's not how it's done. We're not doing it well. We're prioritizing religion, not spiritual. Because with spiritual, you understand there's timing for everything. And with spiritual, you understand that not everything will come the way you have wished it. It will come according to what your soul desires. So it's not everybody here. I've always said it. Not everybody that have come to this incarnation would have a husband. And it's okay. It's not in your part, it's not in your part. Not everybody will have a child here, and it's okay. It's not in your part, it's not in your part. Your ability to understand that everything the universe gives to me is what is meant for me, and it's for my greater good, is spiritual. But we're not there. We are in a space where, because it is religion, we will force it to happen. See, if I pray today, it doesn't work, I go to mountain today, she's still there.
Yes, are you still there?
Hello?
No, I think it's Ezene. Are you there? That Ezene.
Yeah, I'm here, but I want to speak with the line people, Gongo, because whenever I try the number, I will not, before they will finish the program, I want to say something.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, ma.
We can hear you. Go ahead, Ezene.
Okay, ma. But please, this issue, my senior sister is having the issue. So, let me say, like 3 months ago, my sister, she said that that there is one man that is living in Owerri, that the man is selling children. So initial time, the person that directed me to the woman told me, she not told me that the woman they are selling children. So I called my sister. My sister said no, that she wants to use her own sperm to do it. So I said, I don't know this one, but I will look for. So, like, right now, I'm just looking for a solution, because that my sister now is living in Denmark, outside country. So, I'm just looking for a solution.
You understand?
Because,
does this concern Denmark? I'm sure that sister in Denmark is going through something like this, and has found a doctor somewhere in the East who's
that's promising a baby.
She's looking for solution.
What kind of solution? Isn't it still there? Okay, we lost her.
Yeah,
I really
so,
wanted to understand the kind of
she
solution she's
knows
looking for.
In our, like someone is saying on YouTube here, and I've heard it before, that they call something Iju in Yoruba language, and when it's used on a woman, it makes her stomach swell or subdue intermittently. Some of these conditions are, I was explaining this, an African way we see it. When you mentioned the wisdom and the miraculous. Recently, I met a doctor I spoke to. She's working in the UK. And we were explaining how a woman keeps losing her babies and she's not carrying them to term, but she's fertile. So I was explaining to her that Gani had said she's fertile, she doesn't have any problem, but her babies don't get to term. He said, do you know that it's possible for men to have resource factor, but medically, we have not researched on just that. You know, so we focus so much on women's resource factor, we did not know that men have it. So traditionally, at least I've heard the Ijebu say that they'll tell the woman, step out of your marriage and remarry. And I go talk for my friend. He almost cut out our friendship. Yes. You know, step out and seek alternatives. And see your husband.
So I was going to also talk about the infertility that we've been talking about, and we have just focused on women. We have just focused on women, and we've forgotten that sometimes a woman carries the burden of the man's infertility. She's the one that is running up and down trying to look for a solution, even though he's the problem and he's sitting at home. So she would go. She would be so desperate to go to people like this, because he would not move. He feels that if there's no baby, there's someone else that can bring a baby for him, you know. And we have had situations where a woman who, maybe in her own case, she feels, well, we don't have a child, I'm willing to stay with this man. 5, 10 years down the line, he brings a baby to her. Even though it's not his baby, but the other person was, in our own parlance, we say she was smart enough to sort the problem out and bring a baby. And so you find women who feel, before someone comes and sorts my issues out, let me go out and, you know, sort this baby.
Find solution myself.
So men have to be part of this conversation. First, in the fertility, you must go with your wife and sort yourself out and be aware of what your issues, your issues are. But the second part of this is that in this selling of babies and everything, you find men. They are also, the scammers are making money out of women's issues.
Exactly. Let me take Ken. Ken from Asaba. Thanks for calling. You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. I know somebody right now that is undergoing through this process right now. I know somebody, in fact, they told the lady that she's carrying twins. You know, that she needs to give them 5 million naira. Now, when the time is due, they're going to operate and remove the twins from her body. I'm looking at the lady, she's not pregnant. In fact, this is happening right in Monica right now. Her body is normal. There's no swelling on the part of baby tummy. She's still going around doing her business. And she believes that she's pregnant. She's had twins, a boy and a girl. So this is a very big issue. And then the more you try to educate them, the more they see you as enemy of progress. Because they need children, they need child. So please, we have to, this is a very big issue. And there's nothing I think anybody can do about this right now because they themselves need children.
Thank you, Ken. I mean, I didn't even believe. This is my first time hearing this. Now. I didn't realize how much
widespread it is.
Every single caller has somebody or somebody.
Yes, it happens. So I think we need to normalize adoption and surrogacy. And we need men to open their hearts to adoption and surrogacy. A lot of women don't want to hear that adoption because their men will say, it's not my child. You are bringing another person's child to my house. Now, also, we need to make the adoption process seamless. I've had people who have been in line to adopt children, and it's a Herculean task. They keep going back and forth. They're filling forms. Make it easier for people who you have tested that they have the capacity to raise children to be able to do that. See this case we're talking about now. Many of the people there actually have money. So it's not, you cannot, if you're poor, you cannot even afford some of these child trafficking services that you find yourself into. So why don't you go through the normal route? Why don't you talk about surrogacy? Why don't you freeze your egg? Why don't we have this conversation even in religious houses? Because I know that a lot of people will feel if it doesn't come from your womb, it is not a blessing. Excuse me, the brain for surrogacy was given by God in the first place. So we have the abilities to think and make life easy for us. It's not because we're trying to replace God, but He's the one that has given that. So make it open, make it normal, and remove the stigma on surrogacy is not your child or adoption is not your child. I see that a lot of women will be more open to accepting this, and that will reduce the pressure on what
go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, what makes baby factories and scamming places like this more popular is because you get to do it in secrecy. when you decide to go adoption, surrogacy routes, is that you have admitted to yourself that you have a problem. And we don't want to admit that we have that problem. So we'd rather find we need to find a discrete place that can sort our issues out, and then we'll come out and then we're able to tell the world, look at what I've done. And this reminds me of a story I saw in the dailies, like a very long time ago, a woman in her 80s who had given birth. And the thing was all across our newspapers then, and they were celebrating her. Like at that time, nobody thought to investigate it, you know. It's just part of our culture to accept things, as we say, the miraculous, things that do not seem possible to be possible.
But that woman's case was at the public hospital. It was at Luth. The video.
I don't know.
So
let's
not cancel the possibility of, you know, the instances I mentioned. Yes. Somebody is at the farm with an entire full farm of workers, falls down, goes into labor, and then has a baby.
No, that's real.
That's a cryptic condition.
Yeah.
It can be any.
1 in a million.
Yes, one in every instance. When I was going through treatment, my doctor said PCOS 4 out of every 10 women. So we see the colours now. Yeah. 4 out of every 10.
But that's how they're able
I'm
to
even
sell it to
surprised
women.
at almost every color. So, as you said, it's quite widespread. I didn't even realize it was this bad. So you might even need to have a proper show on this.
So let's encourage women to take the investigations further.
Yeah.
If it sounds funny, because in today's world we can see this kind of examples that the BBC exposed. If it sounds funny, investigate further. Do not subscribe. Right. Don't let somebody play.
You know, one part of this problem also that I'm thinking of, all this DNA that we're doing, and people are realizing children are not theirs.
No, it might be this
from stuff like this.
Things like that.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up at this time, but I think this is something we need to address. For those of you who were waiting for our doctor guest for today, he's coming on Thursday. We're told that he had to reschedule for Thursday, so we're sorry that we couldn't have the doctor, but definitely he'll be here on Thursday so we can have the conversation on Dial the Room. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.